Hey, it's Lacey Broussard, and this is the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast. From sex and motherhood, birth and relationships, communication and intimacy building, and Taoism and Tantra, we explore topics such as self-care, self-pleasure, body image, jade eggs, the feminine cycles, creativity in business, and modern spirituality. The Multi-Orgasmic Mama is a place to come for true stories and transformational advice on how to be a mama and a multi-orgasmic woman too. Welcome, it's Lacey Broussard here, and today not only am I going to give you 3 holistic sex techniques to increase your confidence in the bedroom, but I'm going to talk with you about the importance of how we self-pleasure or masturbate. Why? Because it took me years to discover that how we self-pleasure totally affects how we show up sexually with a partner. It's impossible to show up sexually confident with a partner if you're not sexually confident in and with your own body first. To become confident in the bedroom with your partner means that first, you're going to have to work on becoming confident with yourself and in your own skin. And this happens most easily through self-pleasure or masturbation. Think about how radically different our world would be if we all masturbated from a place of deep intimacy and connection with ourselves. That if we allowed ourselves time to relax and enter into surrendered states of energy flow, and if we gave ourselves permission to meet ourselves with the same acceptance and love that we easily give to others, just how different we would all show up in other areas of our lives. Well, you might be wondering, in just what areas of our lives would we show up differently if we all self-pleasured differently? I want to talk to you about 5 different ways that we would show up differently. How we self-pleasure affects so much. It affects how we love, how we have relationships, how we make love, how we date, and how we feel inside our bodies. Let's break each of these down for a moment, okay? The first one is, how does self-pleasure affect how we love? The capacity that someone has to love another is really only as great as the capacity that they have themselves developed for loving themselves. And is it any surprise that we're a total intimacy averse culture, considering the way that we masturbate in totally disconnected, habituated, and fantasy-filled ways? We learn from a very early age that we need to disconnect our heart from our pussy, or if we're a dude, our heart from our penis, in order to protect ourselves and keep our hearts from getting broken, right? Even though we're highly social creatures who long for and thrive off of intimate connections with people more than ever, at the same time we're totally freaking terrified of intimacy. And it's hard to keep an open heart in our sexual experiences because we're afraid. Why? Because we're not comfortable being intimate with ourselves. In order to unwind your capacity to love someone else, you have to learn to relate differently to your body, to your pleasure, and to your feelings. And there's really no way around it. Number 2, how does self-pleasure affect how we have relationships? How much do you depend on your partner to take care of your sexual needs? I am not going to lie, I am totally guilty of this because I grew up being so ashamed about masturbation that I hardly ever did until I was in my early 20s. I was also a really late bloomer, so it was kind of like a timing thing for me because I didn't develop sexually until much later than most of my peers. But when I got my first long-term boyfriend at 18, I became totally dependent on him to meet my sexual needs because I honestly didn't know how to meet them myself. My question for you then is, are you dependent on your partner to turn you on and to meet all of your sexual needs, or are you able to do that for yourself? Needing our partners to fulfill all of our sexual needs can be super harmful because it can create projection and a sense of neediness within the relationship, and that does not feel good to anyone, and it can often lead to arguments around sexuality. But when we practice owning our own sexuality and pleasure for ourselves, it makes you feel like a whole and empowered individual who can care for yourself without putting the responsibility on your partner to fulfill all of those needs for you. When you are able to meet your own sexual needs, not only are you more capable of showing your partner how to pleasure you in a way that feels good to you, but you're able to evolve the relationship beyond this projectional way of relating into a relational way of relating, which is a super important topic, but that's totally for another day. Let's move on to number 3. How does self-pleasure affect how we make love? This is an important one here because when it comes to confidence, that's not something your partner can ever give to you. People can go a lifetime and never question or even think about how the way that they self-pleasure affects how they make love, but it is directly related. So it makes sense for you to look at how you want to show up sexually. If it's with more confidence, then how can you develop that in self-pleasure? I'm about to show you how to do it in self-pleasure and in a partnership in just a sec. But first, there are 2 more ways that I want to talk to you about how self-pleasure affects our lives. Number 4, have you ever thought about how self-pleasure affects the way that we date? When you're sexually confident and empowered in yourself, this will light you up from the inside out and make you feel super magnetic. It's really magnetizing to men or women if you're into women when you feel super sexually confident and powerful. And it will also give you a greater sense of self-worth and self-respect and a sense of ownership over your body, which is very important for drawing in and magnetizing high-quality men into your life. And then the 5th reason, or the 5th way that self-pleasure affects our lives, is that it affects how we feel inside of our bodies. When you use self-pleasuring as a way to anchor into your body, to really go in and to feel and to connect with what's really going on inside, you can feel if you're not connecting or if you're disconnecting. You can feel if you're disempowered or if you're lacking confidence. Or maybe you can feel if you're carrying old baggage or old traumas or emotional wounds. Many women also push themselves towards a goal in their self-pleasuring and of course in their lovemaking too, which is totally fine some of the time. But really being able to slow down and accept the body's ability to breathe is so important to how you inhabit your body on a regular basis. All this to say that sexual confidence with a partner isn't going to come by learning the newest and latest frickin' blowjob and handjob techniques from Cosmo. Sorry, Cosmo, but you got the wrong idea about sexual confidence if you think another woman needs to learn one more goddamn thing about how to pleasure a man. Now, I'm going to give you 3 of my 8 holistic sex techniques to increase your confidence in the bedroom. These are only 3 of the 8 that I detail for you in my brand spanking new 8-step checklist to multi-orgasmic bliss that has all 8 techniques in it for all of you mamas out there who want to experience your most wild, primal, ecstatic, fullest, most multi-orgasmic nature possible. You can download that checklist by heading to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/Lacey's newsletter, where I will send it straight to your inbox for free. In this checklist, you can use any of the 8 techniques to reverse negative sexual patterns or to create healthy sexual patterns with or without a partner. You don't want to use more than 3 of them at any given time, or you might begin to feel a bit overwhelmed. Focusing on 2 or 3 of the techniques is ideal, especially if you're doing them to help increase your confidence in the bedroom over the next 7, 14, or 21 days. And this can be super effective if you even just do them for 7 days. Now, without further ado, if you're wanting to experience more confidence in the bedroom, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself questions to find out what's really going on for you. What part of your body, mind, is inhibiting you from being confident in the bedroom in the first place? You can ask yourself questions like, what's going on inside of my body when I show up sexually with my partner? What's going on in my mind when I show up to make love? What's going on with my energy? Am I experiencing any sensational patterns here? The key is to get really real with yourself and to gain some clarity about what's going on for you. And when you start to feel your confidence wane, you will have a clue about what's going on. And then you're going to focus on the holistic sex technique of energy. So this is the first one, energy. Sexual energy in particular is important because if you're sensitive to it, you can start to see where energy is blocked inside of you. Self-confidence is really a quality and emotion that exists inside of the belly and the solar plexus area. So I invite you to feel if your sexual energy gets blocked in this area, because for a lot of women who lack confidence, this is where it's going to happen. Are you able to move it up past the belly? Are you able to take your sexual energy from your vulva, from your vagina, and move it up past your belly into the heart and the upper chakras? This is super important because if you are sensitive to energy, it's amazing to let it flow through different body parts and through each of the chakras. And where energy is blocked, it says a lot about what experiences are blocked. If your energy is blocked in your belly, then it makes sense that you aren't going to have confidence because you're blocking the energy from flowing through this area that kind of controls your confidence. So again, using the chakra system to find out what is blocked can be super valuable. You do this by tuning into and investigating where there's tension inside of your body that blocks a free flow of energy. The second holistic sex technique to increase your confidence in the bedroom is intention. You might be a new moon intention setting queen, but have you ever even thought about bringing intention into your self-pleasure or sexual experiences with a partner? When it comes to being sexually confident, it's so simple. You can simply visualize yourself fucking and making love from a place of confidence and power. Set your intention to do so and see what happens and how that changes things for you. It's so simple, but it can really change everything. The third holistic sex technique to increase your confidence in the bedroom is breath. Breath is one of the most useful holistic sex techniques because it affects and changes so much. When we breathe, we can connect more easily to a feeling of being whole inside of each of us. Focusing on this technique will help you to become more sensitive to the touch, and it's going to help you create a greater connection with yourself and your partner. And it can help you slow down so you can refocus on your intention of being confident and what's going on with your energy while you're self-pleasuring or making love. If you sense an energy blockage in and around the belly or solar plexus, then focusing on the breath can help you break through that blockage. And while it might feel intense to break through any blockages, focusing on your breath is simultaneously going to help soothe your nervous system so that you can get through it. You can also use your breath to breathe in the quality of confidence, which can be super delicious. And breath is super activating for some people, and it serves as a deep turn on of sexual attraction and passion. Well, there you have it, Mama, your 3 holistic sex techniques to increase confidence in the bedroom as you self-pleasure or make love with your partner. Number 1, focus on your energy and where it might get blocked. Number 2, visualize and set the intention to make love or self-pleasure from a place of confidence. And number 3, use your breath to help you break through any blockages and consciously breathe in the quality of confidence. Well, I hope that helps you, and be sure to download your free 8-step checklist to unlock multi-orgasmic bliss at bit.ly, that's bit.ly/Lacey's newsletter. And I will talk with y'all next week. Bye, babes.